Welcome back to Rift Valley Tube African Affairs Mirror, where we bring you the most crucial news from East to Central Africa. I'm Suleiman Ali, and today we have 3 interconnected stories that paint a complex picture of the challenges facing our region. From Mali in the west, where armed groups seize control, to Sudan's capital engulfed in flames due to intense clashes, and finally to Ethiopia, where the resurgence of the Fano group challenges the government amidst calls for negotiation. These stories highlight the ongoing struggles and geopolitical dynamics in this vital part of Africa. Northern Mali, armed groups seize control of military camps. On Sunday, armed individuals seized control of 2 military camps in northern Mali, as reported by 2 elected officials to AF. A spokesperson for an alliance, primarily composed of Tuareg armed groups, the coordination of Azawad movements, claimed responsibility for the attack. The Malian military acknowledged the assault on the town of Lere in the Timbuktu region via social media platforms, stating that it was actively addressing the situation. An unnamed Malian military official informed AF that they were in the process of dealing with the situation. According to one of the elected officials from the town, armed men attacked the 2 military camps in the town of Lere on Sunday. He added, after fighting, the armed men took the camps. We are waiting for reinforcement from the army, but for the moment it is the armed men who hold the camps. Another official from the administrative region reported that the armed individuals had indeed attacked the 2 camps and continued to maintain control over them. Although he mentioned casualties, he could not provide an exact count. Al-Muag Mohammed, the spokesperson for the coordination of Azawad movements, confirmed their involvement in the attack, stating, "We attacked and took control of the 2 military camps in the town of Lere this Sunday." He went on to claim, "The camps are under our control. We shot down an army plane." The identities of the assailants have not yet been officially confirmed. In 2012, separatist groups initiated a rebellion before ultimately signing a peace agreement with the state in 2015. However, this accord is widely perceived as defunct. Recent weeks have seen a resurgence in hostilities by these groups, including an offensive against army positions in Borem, which led to conflicting reports, but confirmed casualties on both sides. These separatist activities have coincided with a series of attacks attributed primarily to the Al-Qaeda-linked Jihadist Alliance, the support group for Islam and Muslims, JIM. In August, GSIM declared a war in the Timbuktu region. Separately, an ambush near the village of Akor in western Mali resulted in the deaths of 2 soldiers and injuries to another, as reported by the intelligence services. This attack occurred during a supply mission returning from Gair, with 4 attackers also killed. On a different note, junta leader Assimi Goïta signed a mutual defense pact with his counterparts from Niger and Burkina Faso on Saturday. This pact establishes a military alliance among the 3 nations, pledging mutual assistance in the event of threats to their sovereignty or territorial integrity. As we transition to our next report, we'd like to kindly ask our cherished audience for a moment. If you find value in the informative content we provide on Rift Valley Tube African Affairs Mirror, we invite you to support us by subscribing to our channel, sharing these stories among your friends and family, expressing your approval with a thumbs up, and engaging with us in the comments. Your encouragement fuels our commitment to delivering the most up-to-date news, spanning from East to Central Africa. We genuinely appreciate your presence within our community. Sudan's capital engulfed in flames. Army Vs. Rival factions. After intense clashes between the Sudanese army and rival factions, fires have erupted in the capital city. Videos surfaced online on Sunday, revealing the devastating sight of the iconic Greater Nile Petroleum Oil Company tower, engulfed in flames. Tagreed Abdin, an architect who contributed to the building's design, expressed her deep sorrow, stating, "This is truly agonizing," in a post on X, previously known as Twitter. The turmoil in Sudan commenced on April 15th, sparked by a power struggle between leaders of the Sudanese army and the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, RSF. The tension escalated when RSF members were redeployed throughout the country, perceived as a threat by the army. The Sudan War Monitor, an organization analyzing the conflict, reported that the RSF had launched attacks on areas controlled by the army on Saturday, including an office block at the Justice Ministry. Consequently, several government buildings reportedly caught fire due to these attacks. Witnesses informed various news agencies that assaults on army facilities persisted into Sunday. In a southern district of the city, where the army was targeting RSF bases, residents reported awakening to massive explosions. Health authorities announced on Sunday that all major hospitals in Khartoum, as well as the Darfur region, were no longer operational. Nawal Mohammed, a resident living at least 3 kilometers, 1.8 miles, away from the capital's clashes, described her family home's doors and windows shaking from the force of the explosions. She labeled the battles on Saturday and Sunday as the most violent since the war began. According to a coalition of pro-democracy lawyers, the fighting in Khartoum had claimed the lives of several dozen civilians since Friday. Reports of conflict also emerged from the city of El Obeid, located approximately 400 kilometers, 250 miles, south of the capital. The RSF has been striving to gain control of the capital, while the military has employed airstrikes to weaken RAS positions. Tragically, the ongoing conflict has resulted in an estimated 7,500 casualties and displaced over 5 million individuals. Before we move on to our next story, a quick reminder to all our valued viewers. If you appreciate the insightful reporting on Rift Valley Tube African Affairs Mirror, please consider subscribing to our channel, sharing these stories with your friends and family, giving us a thumbs up, and leaving your comments below. Your support helps us continue bringing you the latest news from East to Central Africa. Thank you for being a part of our community. Fano resurgence challenges Ethiopian government. Amidst calls for negotiation, Deber Marcos and Shiwa Rabit, Ethiopia, in the wake of Field Marshal General Burhanu Julla's recent claim that the Ethiopian army had successfully eliminated Fano fighters, the Amhara moment. A aligned group has resurfaced in the towns of Deber Marcos and Shiwa Rabit, demonstrating its resilience and military capabilities. This development has brought renewed attention to the ongoing conflict in the region. Just days after General Burhanu Julla's statement, Fano fighters have shown they are far from defeated. Despite the Ethiopian military's claim of dealing with a residual band-aid, the Fano group has not only withstood drone strikes and heavy weapon attacks, but also maintained control over key areas in Amhara, particularly in Deber Marcos and Shiwa Rabit. Fano, which enjoys significant support in the Amhara region, has proven its ability to hold ground against government forces. This resurgence has raised questions about the efficacy of the military's operations against the group and the persisting instability in the region. In a surprising turn of events, the United States government has encouraged Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's administration to consider a shift in approach. Washington has urged the Ethiopian government to halt hostilities and open a channel for negotiations with Fano. This diplomatic intervention reflects growing international concerns about the protracted conflict in Ethiopia and the humanitarian toll it continues to exact on civilians. While the Ethiopian government's stance on negotiating with armed groups has been cautious in the past, the renewed call for dialogue by a prominent foreign ally may prompt a reconsideration of its strategy. The situation is complex, as Fano's affiliation with the Amhara movement and its wide support base in the region demand a nuanced approach to conflict resolution. As the conflict between the Ethiopian government and Fano persists, it remains to be seen whether these recent developments will pave the way for negotiations or further exacerbate the instability in the Amhara region. The international community continues to watch closely, hoping for a peaceful resolution that can mitigate the suffering of the Ethiopian people. In Mali, we have witnessed unsettling developments as armed groups take control of military camps in the north. The situation remains fluid, and our thoughts are with the people affected by this crisis. We will continue to monitor and report on this evolving story as it unfolds. Moving east to Sudan, where the capital is engulfed in flames due to clashes between rival factions. Our hearts go out to the Sudanese people facing the consequences of this turmoil. The situation in Sudan remains highly volatile, and we will keep you informed as events develop. Lastly, in Ethiopia, the resurgence of the Fano group poses significant challenges for the government. As calls for negotiation grow louder, the region faces uncertainty. We will closely follow this story and its potential impact on the ongoing conflict in Ethiopia. Stay tuned for more updates on Rift Valley Tube, African Affairs Mirror. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to stay informed about the latest news in our region. As we conclude today's reports, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to our valued audience. Your continued support means the world to us at Rift Valley Tube, African Affairs Mirror. Please remember to subscribe, share our stories, give us a thumbs up, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Your engagement keeps us dedicated to bringing you the latest news across East to Central Africa. Until next time, this is our host's Namoff, signing off. Stay tuned for our next episode.